The moment we talk about deity worship, we are actually going into traditional religion as opposed to spirituality. Namaskar everyone. Earlier when I pursued my yoga journey and everything, it was never too much about deities, and I would say here that I think Sadhguru has done an amazing job of bringing in deity worship but removing it from that traditional religious fold. Because for the so many years I used to do Am Namah Shivaya chanting, but I never really associated it to the Hindu religion or the Hindu. I mean, Shiva obviously, but Shiva by himself just transcends all these boundaries of religion and those limitations that are part of human society. But the Am Namah Shivaya chanting, also the way he has transmitted Sadhguru, it was always outside the limitations of the religious Hindu religion. And that is why I kind of never even thought I was doing deity worship. We did the chant because we were taught to chant in a certain way, because those vibrations had a certain effect on our system. And when we were chanting, we had to pay attention to so many things, and there were so many rules and restrictions about when we could chant and when not. And these chants were always coupled with other practices like breath watching and all, which were totally, there is no ideology or anything related to it. So as a result, I think it was very fantastic that I did not even realize that I had this whole amount of Shiva Bhakti. Because I was walking the yoga path, like the path of awareness as we call it. It's something similar to Ramana Maharshi as well, because Ramana Maharshi's path, which is the Gnana Marg as they call, pure Gnana Marg, where you are just saying who am I, and you are, it's a very inner awareness related path, and yet Ramana Maharshi himself has this whole huge Shiva aspect in his ashram, and he himself was this great Shiva Bhakt, with Arunachala being part of the picture, right? Arunachala being considered the form of Shiva. So along with his Gnan Marg, Ramana Maharshi always suggested doing the production of Arunachala and all that. And so that all became part of the whole Ramana Maharshi and his thing, but somehow we still don't associate it with traditional religion, because I think Ramana Maharshi himself does such a great job of, even in the discourses he has given and everything, the entire ambience that he himself has created, it is kind of outside the limitations of religion. And then of course now when you go to Ramana Ashramam, there is so much of Veda chanting and all taking place. So, and then of course there's a very traditional Hindu temple also inside. So and yet in your mind you will think Ramana Maharshi is like, yoga, Gnan Marg, you don't associate religion with him. Or at least I don't, maybe because I come from that background, very urbanized person, rebel against religion and all that stuff. So because of that, when I came, both these parts, I think they've done a great job of presenting a certain traditional ancient Indian knowledge outside the framework of traditional religion, and that has been, I think, a great thing. And as a result of that, after all these years of my yogic practices, my focus on maintaining awareness, inner awareness being my major sadhana, so many other things I have done, including aligning my life completely to support my spiritual aspirations and my yogic understanding and all that stuff. And all of that, despite that, if you asked me 3 years back, I would not claim to know anything about deity worship, nor would I consider myself a deity worshipper. So now, since the past year, this YouTube channel is full of videos on deities and deity worship, and more will be coming, because I have been having a lot of experiences. I have had a lot of understanding of how deity worship works. I have done some amount of sadhana, and I have had experiences, all this stuff. So a lot of content will be coming out. There will be videos. I am also writing a book about my experience at Mahakumbh, which is a lot involved with different deities and stuff. And it is not just deity worship. It is the thing that in the past year and more, I have had some very deep experiences where I have glimpsed the nature of certain deities. And as a result, some of the content will be coming out, and I'll be saying certain things, and then a lot of people are going to be like, where has this come from? So where has this come from? what I understand now is that so typically we would say that if we were simply on the deity worship path, then you would say that at least one needs to do the sadhana for a few years and do a lot of intense deity worship sadhana, after which you may get certain deep experiences and you may be able to talk a few things about it. But I have not done that kind of rigorous deity worship sadhana. However, the reason I got a lot of the experience is because I was doing other sadhana. I think what happens is when we on the yoga path and on my path of awareness, which is still my fundamental path, eventually what happened is a certain amount of silence and stillness got created within myself. And that I experienced very well. And it's in the recent past, like in the last 1.5 years, what I have been realizing, it's almost coming as a revelation that because of this stillness and stuff, I realized that I'm just so much more receptive to this whole thing. So some of the deities, obviously Kal Bhairava, I have a whole bunch of other videos to do, because the past series of videos which I did were up to a certain point. I think till July or August of 2024, whatever I had researched, experienced, and whatever, that was created into a series of videos which are put out by now. So putting out those videos then took a few more months, but during those next months I was having a lot of experiences and I was deepening my understanding, and after that my Kashi trip happened, my Mahakumbh experience happened, a lot of things happened. And so there are a lot of more videos I need to create, which I plan to do. Then there are a whole bunch of things that I want to share about Devi Sadhana and Ma Kali specifically, in some strange set of situations. Lalita, which is Tripura Sundari, also made an entry into my life, so a little bit of experience about her. So that's coming on this channel. And so because of this almost unique circumstance where my fundamental path is different, and then I've come and gotten acquainted with deities and deity worship, my perspective is different on how I approach deities and how I take up the sadhana. So I think it will be useful for a lot of people, especially those who are, of the more contemporary and a more modern bent of mind, and they are not able to completely grasp the very traditional understanding of deities where they take them as those know all be all sort of figures. It might be an interesting journey, so stay tuned. And along with this, I have also started a general sadhana consultation offer for everyone. Actually, it's not only for Isha practitioners, it's actually in general, which is, I personally find it very interesting, and it is because of all these various experiences I've had as a sadhaka, but I do think I can genuinely help other people. So in case you would like a general sadhana consultation, or just want to bounce your ideas off, or just want my opinion or views on your personal specific situation, then do consider going in for a specific consultation. You can go to my website inspirituality.in and just fill the form over there, and then we'll take it forward.